Alright. So that should all be working. Hey, what's up there, AJ? How you doing? Welcome. Just making sure everything's working here. Yo, interesting. Am I actually getting Patreon pledges? That'd blow my mind. I haven't been getting emails about it. Okay, so I am getting patrons here. That's amazing. I have one patron that's been on my patron roll. They've been donating $1 and they paid $21. So that means they've been subscribed for 21 months. Holy fuck. Oh, that's hilarious how people can be subscribed to me for that long. You know, I probably should tell them. It's hard to say. It's like I want them to be subscribed on YouTube because they can get at least perks there. But at the same time, YouTube is super fucking greedy and takes like 30-40% cut. Hey, what's up there, Wizzy? How you doing? Welcome. I also figured out how to get the alerts from Streamlabs, so now I should be able to get these things going. Oh yeah, I never got the spin wheel of credits nor the tip jar going. Roll credits, I don't know what the fuck that means. Going to where you find cars and then typing for Dodge Ram. What, the exhibition? Dodge Ram, like the... Hey. Not too bad. Not too shabby. It's the aesthetic that matches here, and it's still actual functional car too, so that's kind of cool. Ooh, that speed though. I can see why though, yeah, Wyvern cabin. It's gonna be a bit tough to move. Oh, and you're using the owls too. Or not, these are not the owls, these are the... I'm trying to remember, the owls are the blue ones. Is it the... No, are the falcons the blue ones? Oh, I haven't used these in ages, so I don't remember the technical terms for these. Can you guys even see this just to make sure? Okay, good. I did use the right one. Let's take a good look. Which one are you? Yes, you are the owl. Okay, so I was right the first time. Yeah, see, not too shabby. And it is funny that thing's actually getting as popular as it is. But yes. So, I want to talk about today the lovely patch notes that Crossout has bequeathed onto us. So, let's take a look at what we got here. Take a look. Let me go into the news section real quickly. And, hey, with the new patch notes, they've made it so upgrading is now cheaper too. I love patch notes. Yeah, I love just patch notes that are balancing changes. Balancing is always a good thing. You can never really go wrong with it unless you like go extremely overboard, but that's rarely the case. So let's shunk right over here and let's take a gander at the patch notes. And it's also going to be like a tertiary video too that we can watch with tree burgers, but let's take a look here. So rare parts, autocannons, the rapier. The projectile speed is reduced by 7%, which it's alright for the most part. I mean, I never really noticed that the projectiles were particularly fast on the rapier, and why they felt the need to reduce it by 7%, such a minuscule amount, is beyond me, but I guess that means the rapier will be a little bit harder to hit at distances. Porcupines and breaker nerf, hey, I can always take that. The defenders, the minimum spread in motion, while standing, increased by 10. So basically the defender is just a little bit less accurate, which, I mean, considering how accurate the defender is to begin with, that's not really too much of an issue. The main issue is just like mitigating the spread by doing a little bit of burst fire, so maybe get a little bit more conscious of that, or you're just going to have less damage overall. But I mean, defender, not really no particularly overpowered part, but alright. Spitfire, durability increased by 7%. I mean, considering how little of a durability increase that is, that is just a meager, like, what, 12 points? 12 points? I mean, that's maybe, like, what, one extra projectile from a cord? We'll see how actionable a change like that's actually going to be, but a buff's a buff. Sledgehammer, damage reduced by 7%, and maximum pallet range reduced by 20%. So this is actually pretty significant, because not only is the Sledgehammer less effective at range, it also just does less damage overall. So it's like a double whammy too, at medium distances. So it won't be good so much as a brawler. You're gonna have to really get up close to make this thing like super effective. But it's also just a pure purple weapon, so nothing too bad. Next here we have the special rarity items, starting with the Prosecutor. Damage from projectile hit on part. Gunshot damage increased by 15%. So I'm guessing this is just for the initial projectile. This would just be for like the little shell that you fire out before it splits off into like its 1500 fragmentations. So I guess this would be good, maybe, for punching through thicker armor plates. And so that you can actually like chunk through it. But I mean, the vast majority of the damage for a cannon build came through its fragmentation rounds, not its initial like shell. But alright. We'll see how that actually translates into balance. Next is the Suminator, the nail gun. Projectile speed at a maximum weapon charge is increased by 10%. So does this mean the projectile speed only is increased at maximum? Okay. So it gets slightly faster when you have it all bound together and launch it off right at the start. That might be a bit weird because people who are in brawling situations that are just quickly tap firing it, they may not be able to utilize a perk like this. And two, having your weapons have two different charge rates, or two different spreads, is going to be a bit interesting. Huh. But either way, it shouldn't be too bad. Extra accuracy works out. It's just kind of like, oh, you're focusing in narrows. I actually see that a lot in Risk of Rain too. So I guess it kind of makes sense. Let's see what else here. Junk Boat, damage reduced by 5%. Considering it's a blue weapon there, that's not really going to be too much in terms of like actual raw numbers. Because I mean, if the thing's still doing like 265 damage, a 5% nerf on top of that is going to be like 10 to 13 points. It's not going to be too harsh, but that's alright. Shotgun Mace, damage reduced by 6% and maximum pellet range reduced by 20%. So again, this is going to quite adversely affect its performance at medium distances, and you'll probably see this mostly turn out in like the 6k power range. Junk Bow Special. Yeah, I know, sorry. Yeah. I'm always thinking about Junk Bow being the blue tier, but yeah, it did say we're in the special rarity here. Yeah. Thank you for that. But, okay. It's the range is going to be more of a heavy hitter, unless you're doing with ram wedge builds. But I'm assuming they're not really tackling that quite yet. Next is the Explosive Boomstick, so durability reduced by 9%. From 34 to 31 units. You couldn't even mention that and no one would even notice. 3-point difference. 3 points. I mean, these are some micro adjustments. Sure, it's like a decent chunk of percentage, but in terms of raw numbers, hardly actionable. Alright, let's go up to epic rarity. Cricket Launcher. Now the bonus damage from the perk is 80% for every 100 meters to the current target instead of 100%. Okay. That'll be a bit interesting. Considering that the Cricket right now is not really in meta, nor is considered very good, I mean, you can just go right here on the marketplace and go look at the Cricket, and you can see that the price of this thing is severely down because no one wants to use it. So the fact they felt the need to nerf it even more at a pretty significant margin is kind of interesting. I guess it just prevents people from spamming and, like, you know, doing a Kobe shot across the map and hitting someone for 700 damage. But, alright. 88mm damage from projectile hit on parts. gunshot damage increased by 15%, and explosive damage increased by 7%. Alright, that sounds pretty reasonable. I don't mess around with cannons too much. However, I do note that the 88 has had pretty substantial price drops recently due to the changes they had to explosions and how those function. So the 88 getting some love and extra damage will probably help compensate it and push it back up to at least minimal viability with the Fat Man and other cannon weapons. Next is the adapter here, which is the pack weapon you get from Cash, I believe. And the durability increased by 10%, so this is another 14 points here, which is alright, I suppose. 14 points is not really going to be too much, because like I said, 14 points, when you're talking about weapons such as like shotguns or rapiers, cannons, machine guns, that's a fairly insignificant margin. It's not really going to turn out too much. Maybe you might see it more in long-range fights, but considering the adapter is a medium-range weapon, you're not really probably see too much use out of that. The Jewel! Explosive damage reduced by 5%. Alright, that's alright. The Jewel is quite a powerful weapon, so seeing its damage reduced is going to be helpful. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of games in 8K, 9K with the Jewel, and those things tear things up. Especially when you have the, I believe it's the favorite cabin that resets your heat on weapons. So at least that's getting addressed somewhat. Tackler. This one has the spread from each shot reduced by 25%. Interesting. So does that mean it's from each shot? So I wonder if that means the shot from like each tap is reduced. So that means you can hold down the trigger longer and do longer burst fire sessions for still high accuracy when compared to other weapons. So instead of like doing like click, 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 to get accurate, you can do like click, 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 allowing you to just keep firing for like an extra half second longer, which, I mean, alright. That's a good thing. I mean, the big thing with the Tackler is this perk is just useless. That's the biggest issue. So unless they change that, the Tackler is still going to be worthless. I mean, let me take a look at that Tackler price. Is it still like 150 bucks? Okay, it's 230, so it's doing a little bit better, but as you can see, there are more people offloading this weapon than purchasing this weapon, so we'll see about that. Next one, the Spectre 2. The perk bonus now lasts for 3 seconds instead of 2 seconds before the change. Alright, I guess it makes the perk on the Spectre 2 a little bit more consistent, so you will be getting, I believe it's, what, 25-30% damage? It's 5% stack up to 10 times. Okay, so it can go all the way up to 50% there. It's a substantial benefit there. I mean, it's an extra 50% increase on the perk if you want to be generous with percentages. As to how that'll translate into combat, if the average perk during combat is considerably higher, that might be interesting to see. Be like, no, okay, well, because of this, now the average damage from the Spectre 2 while in combat went from like 10% up to 20%. Like, that'll be an interesting thing to measure, but I don't have the statistics for that. Next, we have the P29 Protector, which I believe is that limited angle machine gun. It is. No, P29 Protector. Which one is that? Machine gun M29 Protect. Which one is that? Because the only one I know that's Protector is this one, but that's the M29, not the P29. That's the Defender. I'm guessing that's a typo. Okay, that's just a typo. It's P and M. P and M are not even relatively close to each other, so I'm not sure how they messed that up, but the P29 Protector, weapon heating speed reduced by 17%. Okay, so this thing is going to have a considerably longer period in which it can fire, which for brawling purposes is very effective, especially considering their perk. So that allowed them to stay in a fight longer and still deal a considerable amount more damage. That'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Okay. I can jive with that. Next is the shotgun Orothorn. I don't know how... Orothorn? How does Google It's a pufferfish. Okay. Pronunciation.
Aerodrin.
Aerodrin? What?
Aerodrin.
What?
Aerodrin.
That does not sound correct. Aerodrin?
Aerodrin Meliagres.
What? Okay, so the Aerodrin has the optimal distance increased by 22%, which is... doesn't make sense, considering that the Aerodrin has an issue that it... I mean, if you don't know about the Aerodrin, it's a really weird weapon in which the perk for it... Let me see if I can show you. It says the projectile explodes after several meters and turns into pellets, increasing the effective range, which you have to consider, though, that first initial projectile does much less damage than when the projectile explodes. So the distance in which this thing's effective is somewhere after the initial projectile, but not too far away so that the pellets dissipate too quickly. So it's a very difficult weapon to use effectively, which is why it's worth so little, because no one wants to use it. The perk on it's not terribly useful. It's basically a gimped version of a junk bow, or I guess a Fafnir in this case. And the Fafnir has a more useful perk. And so I'm not sure if this affects the pellets or the first initial shot. If this affects the first initial shot, this is a nerf. If it affects the pellets, it's a buff. And then maximum distance increased by 66%. Okay, that sounds like it's more specific towards the pellets then, so I'm guessing this 22% then is leaning towards the initial shot, which is not good. The maximum distance, these should only apply to the pellets. Because if it applies to anything else to the Orithorn, that like initial bulk shot, that's going to be a substantial nerf. So hopefully it's not that, because otherwise this weapon that already sucks is just going to get worse. So we'll see how that turns out. Next is the Equalizer. Durability increased by 10%. Woohoo. Equalizer is still a gimped weapon, but alright. Shotgun Thunderbolt. Damage increased by 7%. And I believe the Thunderbolt fell out of meta. Okay, yeah, the Thunderbolt fell out of meta pretty substantially, because now it's super cheap and everyone's offloading it. So, yep. It's good that it's getting a little bit of a buff then, make it a little bit more viable. But at the same time, I always just hate encouraging shotgun wedge builds. Oh, beautiful. The wedges are more powerful. Next is a Fafnir. Spread when shooting in motion and while standing increased by 15%. Well, considering that you're always in motion, that's going to be a pretty substantial accuracy penalty, but considering the Fafnir can pretty much strip off any weapon instantaneously already, it's not going to be too much of a nerf. Next is the Quasar. Durability reduced by 10% from 597 down to 537, which, it being a larger HP weapon, is a bit more significant. That means it will take quite a few less shots from a machine gun to disarm, but still not enough to make it, useless. So I don't really expect too much change in terms of meta with this. Guided Missile, ATGM Flute, which now the explosion radius has been reduced by 7%. And I was watching Treeburger stream, and he's apparently complaining about this too. So apparently this thing keeps getting nerfed, and it may not be terribly viable. But in my experience at the 8 to 9k range, the ATGM Flute is pretty good if you know how to use it. People who use 4 or 5 of these at a time, I mean, they can do substantial damage. They can do substantial damage. Next is the Saw of the Mauler, which has actually become kind of popular at lower power scores. Now the perk increases damage by 10% instead of 15%, and durability is reduced by 10%, from 364 to 327. So that's pretty substantial for a melee weapon, considering they get a lot of contact damage. At the same time, that reduction in the perk there is pretty substantial, because now people who have 4 Maulers, instead of having 4 times 15, it's now 4 times 10. So what, that reduces it by 20% in total, which is pretty substantial for like those 4x builds. smaller 2x builds are going to see less of a change. Next is the Saw Lacerator. Damage increased by 10%. Lacerator, is that the blue variety? Or, because I thought that was a different one. I thought it was called the Buzzsaw. So which one is that called? Is this one? The Lacerator. Okay. Okay. I mean, the main thing with the Lacerator is that it was more durable. So you may see more combinations of like 2 Maulers plus a Lacerator to compensate for each other's weaknesses, but we'll see here. Durability reduced by 10% for the Lancelot, which, alright, again, it's a very small change in overall structure for this. So I'm not really sure it's going to be, you know, completely, I don't even say palpable. Like, it's going to be a very minor difference. Downloaded Farming Simulator 19, it's a farming game. Yes, I can imagine from that name alone. Haven't really tried those yet, especially considering they release every year. It's just kind of like, do I really want to pay for the Madden of farming simulators? Next, we're dealing with a legendary rarity. So next, we got the Tsunami. Explosive damage increased by 10%. Okay, nothing too bad. The Tsunami has kind of fallen out of meta. I think it's been replaced mostly by like these explosive weapons such as the Mandrake and the Porcupine and the Remedy. So let me take a look. What is the current price for a Typhoon? Or sorry, Tsunami. Oh! Ooh, boy! Wow. It's strange how cheap it is considering that there's more buy orders than sell orders. So the fact it's 1,400 coins, that's impressive. That's impressive. It's almost about as bad as a Toadfish. What's a Toadfish at right now? Oh, Toadfish is almost back down to that $1,000 range again. As soon as it gets down there to the $1,000 range, snatching up 5 of those. Snatching up 5 of those. But alright, okay. I guess that's good, especially in Clan Wars where Tsunami's probably being outclassed by Porcupines, Typhoons, and 17 other things. This will be useful. Next, the Autocannon Cyclone. Durability increased by 10% from 486 to 535. Okay, so that's pretty substantial. And considering how absolutely gargantuan a Cyclone is, that actually might be pretty substantial. Because you have to remember, this thing is ungodly huge. I mean, look at it. It's a 4x4 cube just to mount it. Its actual hitbox is probably like a 7x7. I mean, these things, you have to build substantial room from them, and they're super vulnerable to things like machine guns and cannon fire, so it's good that's helping out. Next, we have the Reaper minigun. Now, after releasing the fire key, the spinning barrel stops twice as slowly. Alright, so that's pretty good. That means you're able to do more of like stop, go, firing styles, so when you go behind cover, you don't waste ammunition, or when you're, you know, running away or trying to get away, you have more finite control over how many rounds you spit out and the speed at which you do it, so it just makes it so you can brawl a little bit more effectively. That's alright. I mean, considering the Reaper minigun really hasn't been too meta for a long time, that could be good. That could be good. Let me take a look. What is its price now? Okay, yeah. I mean, the price for it is still quite healthy, so clearly people are still willing to buy it, either because it's good in meta, or because it's just fun to play with, so that's good to see. So I guess it's just going to be a little bit more tacked onto that. Hey, what's up, Doggo Gaming? How you doing? Next, we have the Flamethrower Draco. So we have the damage increased by 5%, as well as the part heating speed increased by 50%. So this is a significant increase, because increased heating means that it'll be able to chew through armor parts like crazy now, and be able to get up to that extra 100% in damage perk with the flame add-on. So this could actually be much better for dealing damage to large cards that have flaking off armor parts. So I could see that being a substantial buff for Draco. Considering that thing has been outclassed by the Remedy and Firebug for ages, it's good it's getting a little bit of love here. But I don't think it's having too much issue here. It's clearly still very, very, very popular. Although weird, double the sell orders from buy orders, yet it's still in the 2,000 range. Curious, curious. Hey, what's up to Christopher? And the Apollo went up 500 coins randomly. My guess is someone bought a few of them and is just jacking up the price, or no one's crafting them right now. I mean, you can see that, especially if you're on console. You're probably much more susceptible to things like market manipulation. So next we have the electric gun, the Assembler, which is that thing that you charge up that can shoot at unlimited distance. The damage reduced by 5%. Okay, I could see that being more useful because some people have been complaining that a fully charged Assembler shot being able to instantly strip somebody is not terribly fun. So I could see that being a bit more useful. For the lighter Assembler shots, it's not really going to be too much of an impact. Now here we go. This is a big buff here. The maximum bonus damage from the perk increased from 50% to 60%. This is for the aspect, not the specter, by the way. And the durability increased by 10%, which means an extra 22 points, which, considering everything, that's a pretty substantial boost. That's not only a DPS, but a durability perk too. So, that'll make the aspect, it probably won't make it meta, but it definitely will make it a little bit more viable in casual play. Hey, what's up, Victorious? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. So that'll be nice to see. That'll be nice to see. Especially considering I have 8 of these lovely doubly aspects. Seeing them get buffed again. Ooh, ooh. Oh yeah, look at that too. Everyone pulled them off the market as soon as that news come out, just in case. They're like, ooh, hell, if the aspect's getting buffed, I might as well pull it off and wait for that patch to get the money back. Yeah, you smart, my dudes. You smart. Hey, what's up there, Anpex? How you doing? Next, we have the M39 Imp. Damage increased by 5% and durability increased by 5%. So, a middling performance increase. I mean, that, I believe, is the epic tier version of the rapid-fire machine gun. Oh no, that's the legendary version. Okay. Well, for a legendary gun, that's pretty pitiful armor still. But I guess the extra damage might be useful. I mean... Oh, interesting. The prices for it are very high. I wonder why that's the case. What's the crafting items? There it is. That's why. It's because of Colossus. I was wondering why the thing's so expensive. Like, it has no right being as expensive as it is. Oh, it uses expensive parts. That'll get you. Yeah, considering the low buy orders and sell orders on this, there still isn't very much movement in this market, at least relative to the other legendaries. Especially considering that it's also made with items that you can find out in the wild pretty easily. But, alright, that's better, I suppose, because it still probably sucks, but it probably sucks a little bit less. Next, the relics. So it looks like the machine gun Punisher durability has been reduced 8% from 400 down to 368. So that's a pretty substantial punishment for the Punisher, ironically enough. But at the same time, is the Punisher really that good? Let me take a look here. Successfully landing 40 shots increases damage by 100% for 5 seconds and minimizes spread. Misses add to a number of required shots. Alright, so that's a pretty substantial buff there. That's a pretty substantial perk. So I guess making this a very high-risk weapon and keeping with that theme, I guess reducing the durability just gives it a little bit of extra oomph. But considering, I don't know, is the Punisher really that popular of a relic? I can't imagine too many people busting those things out. But it's definitely more popular than the Breaker, definitely more popular than the Typhoon, and definitely more popular than a few other things. So it definitely does appear to be the most expensive relic right now. So I guess Punisher might be meta. Interesting. Interesting. Well, with that perk, I can see that stripping potential with that being super high. So in exchange for high stripping potential, they probably felt the need to make it weaker so that other weapons could strip it too, like Scorpions or Breakers or whatnot. But alright, alright. Next is a Porcupine Mine Layer. Time to barrel explosion reduced by 25%. Oh, okay, so that just means there's going to be less barrels out in the map at a given moment. Because, you know, people with like the Colossus engine, Omnibox, and a reloading perk on a reloading version of the Porcupine, you can just spam barrels out in the map and make it basically a no-go zone for any vehicle unless they want to instantaneously explode. So that's a good thing to do. That'll help declutter the map and hopefully increase server performance too. Next is the reduction in the explosion radius by 10%. Yeah, the explosion radius and the fire pool left behind by the porcupines is still pretty intense, especially when you're dealing with slower vehicles. So seeing that being reduced a little bit is helpful, but it seems to only apply to the explosion radius, so the thing will hopefully take off as much armor as it usually does. So that's alright. Next, shotgun breaker damage reduced by 7%, like every other weapon in this patch. I mean, considering the breaker is probably the second tier most valuable weapon for relics, I guess that's alright. Nothing too shabby. Yeah, considering every other relic is not as meta. Alright, I could deal with that. And not to mention that I rarely see breakers out to begin with, so it's kind of hard to see whether or not there is an actual balancing issue, because of the breakers I see, they're not terribly successful when compared to just traditional wedges that use thunderbolts or nidhogs. So, alright. We'll see if that actually makes it or breaks it. I'm assuming it's going to be mostly ineffectual and inoffensive, but alright. I mean, overall, my thoughts on this patch note are fairly positive. I mean, I can't think of too many negative things to say here, because the patch notes, for the most part, are not dramatically nerfing anything or buffing anything. It's mostly just giving it small incremental upgrades or downgrades for meta or non-meta weapons. And some of them, like the Aspect, actually can bring back some of the viability. Like the Imp and the Aspect changes will probably make them a bit more viable, and the reduction to the Porcupine is always appreciated, because those things right now are a bit too popular, especially in things like PvE circumstances, out of all things. Things are chewing up points. But then you also have just like really questionable choices, like the one they have with the how do you pronounce that again? How to pronounce? Wow, I misspoke how as well.
Aerodrin.
So the Aerodrin, that balancing there was a bit unusual, so we'll see how that actually turns out in the end. But we'll see. Good thing on the 88 too, but what do you guys think about this? Is this good? Yes, no? Let me know down below. Yes. No, the Aerodrin, that's not the, that's what this thing's called. Yeah, I guess I'll show you it. This weapon right here is called the Aerodrin. That's the word. I mean, it's based off a fish. I'm not the one that's that's how it's pronounced, apparently. Aerodrin, even though it's like Aerothorn or something like that, but Aerodrin apparently. Oh, those barrels, I hate them. My own team has them. We don't see the enemy anymore where you shoot with all the fire. That card line of the back barrels from our own team. Yeah, it happens pretty often. Those things get wedged into my tires, so they basically lock up my back to your rear tires all the dang time. And it's obnoxious. I mean, you like bump over them and it just jumps your car up into the air. It's obnoxious. So seeing that get nerfed, it's good. But yeah, that's good to see. Yeah, and hopefully that reduction in the barrel times out in the wild will hopefully prevent those instances of you going just sky high too. So that's kind of nice. I mean, for the most part, there's like no really too offensive balance changes here. So, good on them. They didn't mess up this patch too bad. Still though, the relics. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm going to post that in chat for you guys. The relics are a bit of a concerning feature right now. So let me see if I can show you this. Tree Burgers recently released a video where he showed the... Here, you can quiet down now. Where he showed the crafting recipes for it. And keep going. Yeah, I love how he left the one thing we care about until the very end. He knows what we want. So if you take a look here, it says blah blah blah, damage slows the reload speed of enemy guns by 6% and reduces cabin power by 6%, which reduces the speed and acceleration without taking the maximum chassis speed into account. The effect lasts for 1 second and stacks up to 12 times. 12 times. I want to emphasize, this is a 6 times 12 stacking weapon. So at maximum effectiveness, this thing can reduce your reload speed by 72%. 72%. And you have to realize, the most that you can buff up your reload speed is 20% with the Colossus, right here. So boost weapon reload speed by 20. And the Omnibox with, I believe, an extra 10 to 15%? Yeah, it's 15%. So you can stack these together. That gets you 35. And I believe there's a co-driver perk that helps with reloading, too. If I remember too. No, that's turn speed. Turn speed. Is there no extra reloading speed anymore? Or is I just going insane? Okay, yeah, so apparently there's no reload speed here, but still. 35%, okay, that's the maximum that you can go right now. 70%, 72% is still way higher than that. That is still over double, a little over double what you can currently get as the maximum bonus. So even if you stack reloading, you will be slowed by a third. By a third with this thing fully on you. Oh my goodness. That is an intense perk. That is an intense perk. Now, of course, let's take a look. So every time it deals damage is basically when it takes effect. So let me take a look. Let me take a look at the spot. Shrink? Leather, Outlander. Alright, so let me take a look. How often does the spark... No, it's not working. Okay. Alright, let's see. How often does this affect? Oh, okay. So if it takes effect every time you fire, and you can see how fast that stacks, that's 1 every half a second. 1, 2, 3, yeah. So every half a second, it applies a stack. So at 12 stacks, it would take you 6 seconds to apply the full thing. Theoretically, at least. I'm not quite sure how that works. So it would take you 3 seconds to reduce someone's reload speed by 72%. Whoo! Jesus. You can basically say goodbye to spider cannon builds, hover cannon builds, and any reloading weapon. Punishers have just solidified their dominance in Clan Wars. Oh my god. That is intense. That is intense. I'm not quite sure who approved of the balancing of this weapon, but please go back to the drawing board. What are you doing? Oh my god. That's the biggest thing here. I don't really care about, like, the Mastodon. Yeah, especially considering he doesn't give a shit about the Mastodon either. Doesn't even show, I guess you can't really show the things right now either because it doesn't have the uranium to do so. I agree with them all about the one change to the sledgehammer, specifically especially the rapier one too. Both those changes were alright for the most part. The sledgehammer is a very popular shotgun for low power score wedges, so trying to cut that off is going to be at least a good thing overall in my opinion. Although, is this weapon that bad when you compare it to, say, Lancelot's? I would say yes, because Lancelot's, those can be countered by appropriately stripping the weapons and looking at your radar and, you know, properly countering this. This, as soon as they get close to you, it's like you're donezo. Because with the Lancelots, you have to leave them exposed. They're easy to shoot off. You know, that's easy to deal with. When a weapon has... Let's see, look. What was the HP on that weapon? When the weapon has 500 hit points, it becomes considerably harder to stop them from completely slowing you down and preventing you from functioning. It's quite a bit more difficult. Quite a bit more difficult. I'm actually a low power score worth player with 400 gold worth inventory. So that change hurts. And let's say if you were investing into this early on, and you don't have a lot of money to change around, that might be a bit sucky, but that's just kind of the nature of balancing. Because some blue and special tier items may be changed more frequently, and to the point of it not being terribly So I could see that messing up some people. But for a lot of other people, it's going to be I mean, considering the sledgehammer is not like a too terribly popular of a gun, it's probably a popular gun. It's not going to do too bad. But yeah, that's all the balancing. That's all the balancing. You can take a look at Treeburger's video too if you want to participate with him as well. Why not? Why not? Send some love his way, but it's not like, I'm assuming if you're watching this channel, you're probably already subscribed to him too. I mean, the dude is 8 times more popular than me. I'm actually curious. I'm just gonna look at the social blade for him. Is he doing well in terms of growth? Tree Boygiz. Here we go. Alright, so he gets about 10 to 20 a day. That's alright. So he's doing pretty well. He's doing pretty well. He's growing at about the same rate as me, I think. No, he's probably going faster than me. Because that'd be 300 in a month then. Yeah, so I'm only growing at a third of his rate. Not comparing, though. Not comparing. Oh, you think the car looks cool? Hey, thank you. And I'll say this car was mostly designed with aesthetics in mind. It was to be like a, almost like a miniature convoy. You kind of have like this nice little walk platform here with the guardrails here. Ooh. Someone's spamming those messages on Discord. I'm gonna mute that for 8 hours. Schwink. Yeah, but it's kind of a nice little walkway here with the railings in it. Definitely makes it look more like a tow truck and utility vehicle. That's what I kind of like about it. Plus the cohort cabin. Always so nice. Cohort's just a badass car. Or a badass cabin. What's the power score? This one has the fuel barrels on it, so it's 9,220 or 9,216. But without the fuel barrels, it drops down to like 9.4K. Let me take a look here. Yeah, 9096. So it drops down like an extra 100 power score. So not too bad. Not too shabby. I'd say it's not the most meta car I've built before. I'd say probably a more meta car would be this one. This is basically the faster version of the Torero. Decently armored with explosion resistances and way more power score efficient. That's 2K gone. Pretty good. Recently got 2 retros and they're amazing. Yeah, especially in PvE. Retros in PvE are amazing to get super high power scores. Super good, super good. Let me take a look here. Just trying to think, what do I need in terms of challenges for this week? Still need to do some more wire missions. 1 second, let me see if I can turn this down. There we go, we're gonna skip that for now. Had that out too much recently. I wouldn't mind it if the St. Jit thing's only 14 minutes. To be fair though, that still is the longest track by 3 times. Only so much I can listen to Elder Scrolls rap of one theme. Alright. 1 second. Is it more effective to sell scrap or to sell blue parts? It depends on the part itself, but the profit you get from selling scrap or just buying scrap and then selling it as the blue part, it's not really going to be doing a whole bunch. But if you want to get like more profit in total, I would recommend, yeah, just go ahead and get crafting a blue part. But if you're on PC, make sure you're using a website like crossoutdatabase.com. That thing gives you so much goodies. Okay, yeah, then make sure you use this website, crossoutdatabase.com. So you can go to crafting, go to any rarity here, so we'll go for blue and figure out what the best crafting margin is. These right now are hyper-inflated, so I wouldn't expect these to stay the same. But... how's the crafting margin 77 coins on something that sells for 60? Crafting costs us 30, and each one's... oh, okay, I guess in total then. Even then, though, that's still only a margin of 29.03. And times that by 2, that only gets you around to the 60 range. Nice panda, hey, thank you, Sixer. Interesting. What is it? What's the price right now on PC for... what are those, chained wheels? Chained wheel steering. And then chained. Ooh, wow. Ah, okay. Yep, this reeks of market manipulation right here. It looks like someone purchased up all of the buy orders for chained wheels and then dumped it onto the marketplace here. That's funny. That's funny. And because of that, they're able to jack up the price like that. Oof. Oof. Yeah, so you can make a little bit of coin off that, but more stable profits you can see around here, around the 4 to 8 coin range. That's not too bad. For a blue part to get started, that's not too bad. I mean, for me, I go to the fire starters, and I usually craft things like Shiv with a 15 crafting margin, and that's like rock steady stable. It's like always 15, 16 coins. Hey, what's up there, Michelle? I got the... Is it the weekend event? I think so. Let me take a look at the time frame for that event. And I doubt the event is what caused the chained wheel to immediately jump in price. That's just classic, whatchamacallit, market manipulation. That's some rich dude buying up all the buy orders and then flipping it for a huge profit. At least they attempt to. Reduced part upgrade, so what is that? From 13 General Mountain Time on August 28th to 31st. Okay, so today the 28th. Today's the 28th. 1300 GMT to my time. Okay, so yeah, it is currently active for me. Yeah, so it is going on right now. I just started watching. That's great to hear. What's that? How you doing? How's your day going? It's going great so far. I just talked about the patch notes for like an hour or so. Hopefully we can actually get started on this thing. Alright, we'll be back. You sell wheels? Yeah, wheels are generally, like, for whatever reason, the most popular and most profitable things. I mean, as you can see here, wheels are doing usually pretty well. You can craft things like the Dracos, the Griffins, the Oppressors, and all the other stuff, if you want to. But I just noticed that the Shivs and the Bigfoots and stuff like that have remained consistently profitable over their lifetime when compared to, like, everything else. I'm not sure what's causing that, but that's just, like, what I've been seeing. I'm gonna check the database. Alright, my dude. I say, if you're on mobile devices, you probably can do window and window mode if you're on Android. I'm not sure what it's like on iOS. Shwink. Let me just do that. Got the battle pass today? Hey, congratulations. Welcome to the light, my dude. And enjoy your nice fused weapons and cabins. Shit's nice. So chain wheel, studded wheels, then chained wheels, then shivs. I mean, it just depends. Just depends. Like I said, I would keep an eye out on the database because things change on a dime flip all the dang time. So don't be like, oh, I'm going to do this one thing for like a straight year and I'll be all right, because you have to be like consciousness of market changes, because these markets will violently flip sometimes, and you'll have to like either stop making an item for a day or two, or don't sell it for a day or two, due to whatever reason that's going to happen. So don't think, oh, this is what I'm going to do forever. Like, no, that's not going to be the case a lot of the time. So just be a bit more conscious. Be a bit more conscious. Don't do weird shit. I used to make 3K PS builds. Now I make 6K. Nice. And I'll say with the extra weapons and the extra cabins, that'll definitely be a huge bonus to you. Especially for any new person. If you can get the Griffin cabin, especially the Nova cabin, oh, that's fantastic. It's fantastic. Because that 12 energy, super, super useful. Plus that perk is decently easy to use and makes you quite a bit more powerful. Or survivable. Yeah, anytime, my dude. I mean, that's like my bread and butter, is tips and tricks on how to optimize crossout. And it's at least what I'm known for on YouTube. Hey, let's go. Okay, it's not too bad here. I noticing the balancing up here at these ranks is kind of nice. You never get a game where like your 2,000 power score out of whack. How to play the market. I'd recommend... I have a video on how to make coins, so if you want to learn how to make money in crossout, that's a good first guide to look at if you want to get like a general gist of things. I could talk a little bit about how to play the market a little bit. I'm not too much of a market player because there's a lot of high risk involved with it, and I usually don't care for it, and it usually requires a lot of capital to also do some other tricks. And I haven't really done them effectively. Oh, and Alexis is fucking gone. Flip like a damn toaster strudel. Just sitting there, accepting her defeat. Alright, where are them feet at? Oh, yeah. Just let him sit right there. And so that hover, that's going to need to be going away. Woo! Fucking whip that stuff. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Fuck. They got me. I was like trying to aim for it. I was slightly too weakened from all that fighting. Slightly too weakened. I did alright though, considering everything. My team folded like a deck of cards. Alright. I need to get a 12 power cabin that is speedy, but epic, not legendary. So you'd probably be looking at... Let me take a gander here. There's not too many good 12 power cabins. Omnibox is a great choice. Photon if you have energy weapons. Step Spider if you can afford it. But it also just depends on your weapon types too. A lot of people like using Torero or the Favorite for machine gun based builds, or the Howl for more melee based builds. Just kind of depends on your playstyle and what you're going after. Checked a video of that like yesterday. I was thinking Firestarter's cabin. Forgot its name, not the Bastion one. I talked about like the Harpy or the Werewolf. Because the Werewolf one is a bit weak in terms of tonnage and mass limit. But it can be useful. Yeah, market changes quickly. I got 2 incinerators for $790 and ended up liking them for a bit. And eventually went to sell them, and the price had dropped $700 3 hours prior. Yeah, I'll say sometimes prices can drop like that pretty dramatically. That's why it's kind of nice having that crossout database website, so you can see whether or not you're purchasing a weapon during a high period or a low period. And you generally want to purchase a weapon at low periods and sell at high periods, so that you reduce the loss you get from the 10% markup, or you can even make money. Harpy is the other one. It has 2 cabins. Firestarter has 2 cabins. So if you look here, we have the Werewolf and the Harpy. Harpy's better if you do things that are explosion-based, like autocannons, cannons, pyres, anything pretty much that goes boom boom. Bought a porcupine once for 13k and sold it for 15k. A few hours later, it went up to 19k. Yeah, I was gonna say, ooh, shit like that can happen. And that's why when you try to do flipping items, where you try to sell it, where you try to buy an item low and then sell it high, that stuff can take a very, very long time. But if you have a bunch of excess capital that you're not utilizing, fuck it, might as well just use it to flip an item over the course of a long period. That's what I did with my 8 aspects here. But it was also partly because the aspects had such a phenomenally low price. Like, these things were like 1,400 to 1,200 coins for the longest time, and I was like, alright. And I just ate them all up because they're so ungodly cheap. I mean, these brother truckers, 1,400 coins? Are you kidding me? 1,200 coins? Oh! I was like, how are they so cheap? How are they so cheap? Toadfish is going similar route right now, which I guess makes sense because the Toadfish will have a very, very hard time being meta. It is such an unorthodox weapon at a very high power score that also doesn't really do terribly high DPS. So I can see why no one's buying this. Look at those buy orders. 15 versus the 64 sell orders. Oh. But look at it though, it's getting down. As soon as this 1,300 order gets its ugly ass out of the way, this thing drops down another 90 coins. Or 85 coins. I mean, ooh. I think of Emily Wasp's little boy build. That could work. I'm not sure if doing a Wasp and a little boy at the same time would be terribly effective, considering they have different firing arcs. But it could work. I mean, more boom boom always works, generally. Very rarely are you ever gonna go wrong with it. As long as you just, like, hit the person with the boom boom, their car is gonna fall apart. I mean, it used to be a joke for the longest time that you could just aim with crickets in a general direction of a car and get a free kill, because shenanigans on it was ridiculous with that DPS. And the fact to be able to penetrate right through your frames and hit your fuel barrels and generators. It was not fun time. It was not fun time. So the only way you could counter that was by doing a no barrel, no generator run, just doing 12 energy cabins like the Step Spider, rocking 3 caucuses, and yep, you became a decent chunk more invulnerable to them. Ooh, let me go help these dudes out. Here we go. I just want to make them a bit more invulnerable here. Hey, triple caucus sandwich. Someone gonna push him over. Oh my god. Extreme hazard just... He made that hover non-existent. Fucking deleted. Hazard's going in for round 2, boy. I just love seeing that sometimes. Someone just gently touches a hover build and it just pops their generator and one-shots them. Ah, so nice. So nice. Got him. Yeah, crickets keep getting nerfed. Well, they just got a... Like, no, they just got another nerf. They didn't get a buff. Not in the slightest. But, it could be worse for them. It could be worse. It could be worse. It could be caucuses. Shit's never been good. Okay, to be fair, it was good once, but that's only good for seal clubbing. I can understand what the market says, something else. That could just be because it fell out of favor with things like porcupines becoming more prevalent. I actually don't see myself using anything but wheels. I liked using tracks for a while because they used to have a really great turning radius and acceleration. So they used to be fairly agile things, but then they completely nerfed that down to the ground and they became much more fat. And it was not as fun to drive around in. Which I guess I can understand, because they're basically the coup de grace, the pinnacle of driving for lower power scores. Meow. Beautiful. Sorry, I'm playing a mobile phone game too while I'm streaming, so if I seem a bit absent, it's because I'm playing my fucking mobile game. I'm playing 2 games at once here. I am that ADD. Playing 2 games while streaming. That's how ADD I am. I just try to play however you'll love it. I try to play it with my caucus build, and oh my god, I fucking hate the movement on it. I hate the movement on it. Not to mention, the building strategy on it too is a bit unorthodox, and I mean, you're still flying a giant paper mache car that as soon as it bumps into something, it just fucking blows up. What's your power score, my dude? Ooh, if you're a bit high for me, if you can drop down to 9k, I can invite you in. Because right now I don't want to jump up to 12k because this car is not 12k ready. Also, what faction has Porcupine? Firestarters or Lunatics? Technically the Engineer, but I think I mean, it's hard to say. Hard to say.
I am Jarl Balgruuf.
Hey.
Ballin'.
Thank you for the follow there, digital partner?
Ballin'.
Oh, Penetrator, sorry. I understand I was having a hard time reading that for a second. Star Trek Online mobile here while playing and waiting. ADD person here too. Yeah, as I was saying, I'm gonna be fair, this mobile game plays itself mostly, so it's not too hard. It's just mostly managing in the interims. But I think I don't know what the Porcupine actually officially belongs to, because the, whatchamacallits, it's not the Steppenwolf faction. The Scavengers use it, and the Firestarters use it. So I'm not sure if that denotes, like, ownership, quote-unquote. Not AFK Arena, it's this, like, weird niche mobile game called Dungeon Defenders. It's like this unupdated Korean kind of roguelike pixel draw. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I'm terrible at descriptions here. It's video game. Alright, people. Look at that. Is that flutes and others? Ooh, Alyssa taking bodies. Hilarious. They're just, nothing used to be like a giant ammo rack on the back with the generator. Yep, still is. Yeah, I think we're gonna be a bit beamed here. Looks like we'll be alright. Yeah, 30% damage reduction. Suck my pee-pee. Oh, he's panicking. Oh, he's panicking. I don't know if I'll be able to survive this book. Ah, fuck you. You will perish. Owie. Oh, and a cotton muffin too, spamming a horn. How disrespectful. My power score is now just over 9k. Alright, I'll invite you in. Perish there, infidels. Hey, doing nice there. 1 tackler and a couple of fuel barrels. Doing great there, sausage. Shoink. Alright, let me see. What power score are you at? Alright, I can work with that. Come on in. Produce some batteries. 1 second there, I gotta bump up my dungeon walls to fucking 2,000, 2 million gold. Let's see. It's 556 before I do this. I'm just let that go for a long ass time. Hope batteries is alright. Yes, I think we should be alright. We got what, this is a retro build or a shotgun? No, retro build. Okay, yeah. We're gonna be alright then. Although, are those medium tires? Roof, hopefully you don't get immediately crippled with that. Yeah, retro build. I like. A good way to instantly cripple somebody. Alright. Yes, it looks pretty good. It looks like the bots, though, are immediately bum rushing us. Is it a bot? It is. Cute as can be. There we go. That's alright. Go with the bot wave. There we go. Nothing to push me. Push him. There you go. There you go. Got him. Alright, someone pick up Edward. Why batteries? Oh, because you want to do your weekly missions. Weekly missions give you more reward than just the basic grinding alone. In terms of just pure base grinding with no weekly rewards considered, scrap is still by far the best. However, if you account for badges, then you want to do as many as possible. At least generally. The only ones that are a waste of time are things like adventure mode. That's adventure mode one where you get like 100 batteries for 20 side missions. Fuck no, don't do that. That is a waste of time. Oh, come on! To whack some packs. What are you doing? Are you panicking? Do you feel the looming threat of these caucuses? I understand. I understand. Feel it. Understand your consequences. And may not make the same mistakes again. In fact, just uninstall right now. Are racing wheels good, or should I get chained wheels? I have no idea. I don't deal with light wheels too much. I have like an inventory exclusively of these big-ass chonkin wheels. I got them big-ass twin wheels, large wheels. Ironically enough, don't have Bigfoots. Never had a need for Bigfoots. Racing Arcade, weekly on Saturday or Friday? I don't know. I don't do too many of those brawl type things. I only did the brawls for the, whatchamacallits. I'm trying to draw its name to me. The seasonals. I only did it for the seasonals. Beyond that, I really didn't give a shit about brawls. Brawls only used to be good when they actually were worth its time. Because brawls right now, they're just a waste of time. You just do regular scrap missions, you'll earn more money. And considering you need to do consistently well in like 10 brawls in order for you to even get your like 150, I mean, I just forego it because I don't find them pleasurable enough. If the brawls were interesting, it's fine, but like two of the brawls, or sorry, the Storm Warding brawl is just pure bullshit because no one fights in it anymore. Everyone has a collective agreement just to make like a 4K car. They run to the last point, and then they just pop their ass there and wait to die, and whoever doesn't die first wins. So that's what everyone else is doing there. And then, oh god, what else is there? Then there's the was it free-for-all mode? I don't know what it's called. Basically where everyone just sits there and shoots each other, but the 12K builds, the Porcupine builds, tend to outshine there against everyone else. What else is there? There's that boar thing that no one does. There's that racing thing that are dominated by hovers. Battle Royale's a joke, because that's 30 minutes of your time gone. What else is there? Oh yeah, Big Black Scorpions. That mode's alright, but I can hardly do it. Perish! There we go. He's done so. Nice. Nice. Ooh, back it up. Try not to get hit by this crossfire here. I see you, little shit. Who the fuck's calling me? Oh, it's my mom. Okay, I have to answer this. Alright, you fucking nerds. What have you been doing since I've been gone? Hope you've been behaving. What do they do now? I hear lots of music but no voice. Yeah, sorry. I was on a phone call with my mom. So you know how it is. But see, I'm here. I'm here. I don't abandon my stream. I'm a good goober here. I stream for like 2 hours and take 20-minute breaks in between to eat like 5 pounds of tomatoes. I'm a good streamer. I only offer the highest quality, fuck you and your flute, content here. It is overly aggressive right now because I gotta end the stream at some point in 20 minutes. Found your other stream too. Yeah, it's linked in the description, so you should be able to find it. I just keep forgetting to mention it, like, oh yeah. Hey everybody, just letting you know that I'm streaming on YouTube and Twitch right now. I used to also stream at Mixer, but that platform doesn't exist anymore, so follow on whatever platform is your favorite. Can you also F off with all the hurricanes? Oh my bejesus. It is so many hurricanes. So follow whatever platform is your favorite. I stream on all of them, and each one of them has their own unique perks. YouTube has a permanent archive, as well as now you can join memberships on there. And Twitch has a loyalty system, as well as RPG systems built in the chat. So pick your poison today, or pick a ball. I don't give a shit. I'm here to play a game. I like YouTube more. Yeah, YouTube has different features that are yay and nay for a lot of people. It just depends. A lot of people have different formats. The only issue is technically I'm violating my contracts on YouTube and on Twitch, so I could be reprimanded at any point in time, but I'm also way too small for them to give a shit and to spend time to reprimand me because I barely earn any money. So what are they gonna do? Oh, this bitch here earning me $10 a year. Oh, fucking smack his... No, don't be a YouTube either. Me. So whatever. Alright. Hell. To be fair, YouTube does better for streaming anyway, for whatever reason. Twitch is like discovery issues left, right, and center. I don't know. Yeah, it's a good mixture all around. Technically, if I went with Restreamio Pro, I could stream to like 10 websites at once. So I could go to like Facebook Gaming, I could go to DLive, I could go to Periscope and like 17 other platforms if I wanted to at the exact same time. Managing all of those profiles though, holy shit, I would want to bash my head in. I'd want to bash my head in. It's ridiculous. That is the way, young Peter one. It is the way. Oh no, let's not do a Skywalker meme there. That should have been Ugandan Knuckles. Do you know the way? Oh my god. Maybe I should make a emote of Ugandan Knuckles. But I have a distinct feeling that would be copyrighted material. And who the fuck owns Sanic would try to come after me. I have a distinct feeling. Also, Annihilator Drone, out of here. You peasantry. What's up? How you doing? They're gonna need to perish. Thank you. Nev, why'd you die? No need to die. Oh gosh darn it, the drones knocked me up. Alright, that's all. Ooh, nope, we're alive. Scratch that on the suicide. Fuck your drone. Okay, suicide. And screenshot. And death. Okay. We're doing phenomenal here. To be fair, that was a cluster truck. And we had a variety of things going on that probably shouldn't have legally gone on. But I do like this dude's build. It is quite a nice banana boat. And with Fat Man's on the list too. It's pretty good. I mean, you could definitely utilize a Cheetah engine if you had that over the Colossus, but yeah, this works too. Went behind me and got my gen. Yeah, that's why I don't want to have gens and fuel barrels on my car. Just so I can be the obnoxious asshole that is a 4,000 HP car with 0 explosions and 400 HP weapons. So I'm just sitting there like, yeah, fucking hurt me. I fucking dare ya. I'm gonna sit here and take it all. Sitting there with the cohort engine going on too, so I'm taking zilch and damage. Hurt me, I plan on it. Yeah, you did alright. Dufra, what are you doing? Oh, you're a flute dude. Alright. Well, you're about to perish. Interesting though, he has a bunch of bumpers slapped onto like low HP armor parts to hide his weapons. It's weird because I'm pretty sure bumpers only have contact resistance. They don't have like explosion or bullet resistance. Let me take a look. I'm pretty sure those only have contact resistance. They don't have bullet resistance. Unless I'm just autistic. Okay, yeah, no, they do have bullet resistance. Nope, not those ones though. Those only have contact resistance. Huh. I'll say if you use these things, or what were those things? Yeah, these ones, these small thorns that have bullet resistance, that would make more sense. Especially considering that slapping on those things are like super chonky in terms of power score. Because these things are 155 apiece, so slapping 2 of those on there is 300 power score. Yeah, they have decent HP. 216 HP is not too bad. But in terms of, like, efficiency, I guess it's not really ideal, per se. Yeah, because that would only have, like, 120-ish HP relative. I'm not sure. I wonder if doing off-road bumpers would have been better for him. Because that one's decent HP, but it's much less power score, and less weight, too. Hard to say. I'm very picky about my bumpers, because I barely like using them. Because I like the idea of just having more cabin HP, so that when I get attacked in the cabin from things like machine guns or drones or what the fuck ever, I can resist that a lot more. Especially considering that melee is not terribly big of an issue, not like pure raw melee. I have more of an issue with wedges, but that's just going to be an issue I can't really solve. Because unless I throw a melee weapon on the bottom of my car, it's going to be a thing. But, alright, I think we'll do 2 more games, and then I need to toss off for a bit because I got things to do, apparently. I had a schedule forced upon me. I did not consent. Well, I did, but I was bribed. So legally, or morally, I don't know what term to use. Whatever, I'm not responsible. Ah, fuck. I'm out here to pushies! Thank you, people. Just bum rush him. It's 2 trigger builds. There we go. Just keep distracting them and drive around in nice big circles so that you don't run into each other. Be loose as a fucking goose. What's up? You're doing a great job, everybody. Doing a great job. I'm going to die. Point my... Fuck. Okay, I'm good. We did alright. With a build like this, too, I kind of have to switch between exposing my backside and exposing my front side, depending on the situation. I like exposing my backside while having my guns out front because I have 3,000 HP and 30% damage resistance with the perk. But then I have to switch it when I get low HP out, so then I have to force my caucuses to start taking all the damage. But they can take a lot of it. With the frames and the 300 base HP, they're pretty resistful. We're gonna get in the train plow. Nice, my dude. Train plow is a nice, beefy, chunky part if you need to get a bunch of contact resistance and don't mind the mass on it. But ironically enough, it used to be one of the more popular melee, and now it's kind of fallen out of favor due to its lack of efficiency. Since the developers really substantially reduced the max mass of a lot of these cars. Oh, you doing something? Okay, let's go. Yeah, so since they substantially nerfed the max tonnage and max limit on a lot of these cars, they've fallen out of favor because they're just too damn heavy. Pretty much only reserved for the heaviest of cars. Which I guess makes sense, it is a freaking train plow. Great for damage resistance, especially if you're getting meleeed. See if you can get a bunch of that resistance. But I've actually seen some larger cars starting to use, if they're like a spider car that is, I've seen quite a few of them start using, what is it? I'm trying to remember its name off the top of my head. Like if you're using things like ML200s or big rams, I've seen people try to do sideways builds with tracks as skirt armor, which I guess makes sense because you have to think about it. Tracks, they have phenomenal weight ratios, power score ratios, and they all have resistances to like explosions, to damage. I mean, okay, wow, Connor fucking Shrek that person. Yes, I see them behind us. I see them. I got that radar for a reason. Let's go around and smack them cheeks. Because I see 2 of them by themselves that are thirsting for some booty hole. Alright, that's all melee. I'm going to need some assistance. That's alright. Alexis isn't triggered. The automated defenses are going to kill you. Run in peril. Oh, that wasn't even a close. Bye-bye. Matthias. Oh, he wasn't even a person. It was just a bot. What was I even worrying about? A melee bot that doesn't even know how to use melee. Gotta love the coding. Alright, alright. So now we got 5 people here. Hopefully we'll follow the bots, have them take the initial blunt of the damage. Alright, let me see if I can go behind them. Although it looks like they are just bum rushing point. There we go. Stick behind the cover. Are you sure you want to pull me? I am 2,200 pounds. I am fucking huge. Bartholomew, bye-bye. Bartholomew, that's a pretty badass name. I do appreciate a fellow citizen of class. Also, you accidentally rammed me. That's alright. Because you can die too. Yeah, see, going for my cabin ain't smart when I'm freaking huge. And he gone. Nice. If you add armor to a vehicle and said armor part gets shot off, does your cabin lose the HP the armor gives, or does it keep it? So, it's kind of a different question. So, base armor parts, like these ones, their durability adds to the durability of your cabin. But if you go down to parts like the bumpers and frames that have large durabilities, these are not added to your cabin. But if the armor part gets shot off, the HP stays with it. So the 70 HP that you get for your cabin for this part stays there until your cabin gets shot. Until your cabin gets shot. The individual part can fall off and it doesn't affect the cabin. Your cabin has to be shot in order to lose HP. I think. I think that's how it works. Because I've seen builds where like they lose half their armor and their card dies too. But I'm not sure if that works too. That's at least how I know it. People can correct me. I've never noticed it other ways. So I've seen me lose, you know, like my front fenders here, and my HP pool is still like 3,000. Do you suffer from a lack of being able to strip weapons with Caucasus? If so, how do you feel about it? Well, I mean, that's just kind of a trade-off you get with having a weapon that can automatically fire. Because these weapons can automatically fire and track people and are decently beefy for a machine gun. So, dealing with all those perks, you kind of can only fire at the cabin. Now, that being said, you can strip with them a little bit, so it's not terrible. But at the same time, it can be a bit of a persnickety issue because... for me, I basically, in order for me to use this effectively, instead of doing the traditional stay in the back, strip weapons, go in for the kill, I have to, like, circle them, push them around, and bully them so that they can't properly fight back, and I can deal with it that way. And that's kind of how I can work with it. That's generally how I can deal with it. It's a downside, and it generally makes them non-competitive, but for casual battles like this, you can work with it. You can work with it. To be fair, in casual battles, you can make a giant tube of toothpaste work with the intelligence of some of these teams. Nice. Boy's on fire. Looking quite toasty. Okay, he just committed seppuku. Alright. That'll work too. Oh, no, 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 no. Keep going. I'm quite sexy. I'm sexy jealousy. All of my gang is sexy. I'm sexy. Getting down. Woo. Okay, avoid that fire there, because one of my guns is almost off. Have to witness a bruh moment. There we go. Getting behind where no one's here, and doing a good old poke and die. Let me say, see. Okay, as you say, shit. Ooh, let's skedaddle over here. What's up? How you doing? This is an unfortunate series of events. Yeah, so that he can't fire either. Come on. You won't be able to kill me. I still have 2,000 HP. And you will still die. Yeah, you don't need to pop that fuel barrel. Oof, and all these dudes are... Yeah, they're gone. Nice. Alright, I'll stay back here, where I'm safe. Hey, anytime, Dustin. That's kind of neat. You get 140 HP from the 70 armor part, technically 70 to the armor part, 7 to the cabin. Yeah, in a way, that's why I kind of like using more armor parts as opposed to bumpers, because in that way you get double the effect, especially for the power score. But the bumpers themselves, you can kind of think about it as them having an absurd amount of HP, because not only do they have the HP of the base, but then they have that 90% resistance. So it's basically like tacking on another 90% HP for that one particular instance. So for like a train plow, they have 400 HP, but against a melee, it's like they have nearly 800 HP. So that's where it can be a little bit more useful. Especially when you're dealing with like big ramming builds that go in for that heavy hitter. So it, in those instances, it is useful. So having at least one area in your vehicle in which you can deal with rams is pretty good. Or you can just have tracks. Alright, one more game. This is the last one. I actually do beat it this time. Because I do need to get through it. I need to make myself smell nice. So people are not dismayed by my gorgeous hair. Yeah, so that's kind of a way to think about it. Percentages, and you just kind of tack on as extra HP, or regular armor is like double the HP. And it can be more useful too if you stack your armor in a way that can absorb a lot of cannon shots too. So with the extra space added in, you can kind of think of it as like even more HP tacked on against cannons. Sure, I've never said that before. Hey, it's a first here for everything. It's a beautiful day in Painterland. Moving around trash left, right, and center. I mean, can't ask for more trash barrels if I wanted to. Yeah, last game he said 3 times prior. I mean, to be fair, I do need to get the batteries for the weekly thing. How many more do I need of those? Ah, I've already done them, in fact. So, in fact, let's do wires. I completely forgot I didn't even get that. So now, what's my badges up to? I have 9.5k badges. Not too shabby at all. Oh yeah, he doesn't love this song. Mike spitting fat bars over a Mongolian throat singing. Alright, not quite Mongolian throat singing, but it's pretty good. Although I think we're performing too well right now. They're not pairing us up with anybody. Trying to shove us into a 15k game. I can sense it. I can sense it. Although I'm not sure if they actually do that. Like, if you perform too well at lower power scores, does it eventually just shove you up into higher power scores to make you lose? Because I could see that happening. I know other games have admitted to doing this before. I think League of Legends had an issue where if you won too many times in a row, your effective like personal rating would go up, despite your like actual rank not going up. So you could be rated like a gold or diamond tier player, but still be in silver because of your circumstances. Very rare to happen, but that can happen. There we go. Everyone pull up inside. There we go. I'm just gonna try capture this point and maybe go after B. Oh, come on, I can touch that. There we go. I say, it's not a good idea to face on team like that. There is 5 people there. I say, try not to face them. Go for smaller amounts. Oh, you're just gonna commit seppuku? Alright. I mean, considering how far your cabin is away from me, he really didn't do that ideally. He even popped my fuel tank. Adorable. Interesting. That happened twice now. For whatever, the aiming on my caucuses has reset twice. I wonder if it's just like more people are using the Griffin cabin than I'm assuming. get him. Ooh, get him. Nice. Considering how botched I've been on this, pretty good recovery, my Deuterinos. Before we go, I just wanted to compliment your avatar as a grown straight male. I think it's pretty freaking adorable with pretty natural movements. Great job, all the best. Cheers. Hey, thank you, my dude. You'd be surprised the amount of comments I get about the face rig that are just like, oh my fucking god, this heinous furry is so fucking distracting. Remember, man? And it's just like, it's just purely a visual aid. Like, the fact people find it particularly offensive is weird to me. Because, like, out of all things, I guess maybe it could be offensive if it's, like, tone deaf. Like, if you have a furry avatar while you're talking about a serious topic. Okay, I can see that. But, like, I'm just doing a guide, my dude. I'm just doing a guide. But, alright. That should be the last one, so... thanks for stopping by, dude. Dude, big old smile on the face. So I want to thank you all too for joining me this evening. If you had fun, follow whatever platform is your favorite. We're on YouTube and Twitch, as well as we have Discord and Twitter down below if you want to join the community, as well as just fucking phone call, as well as get notified whenever I go live. So hit that up to your heart's content. Other than that, that's a phone call for me to get the fuck out of here. So I'll see you guys later. Toodles!